Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. You've all seen the TikTok videos on YouTube channels like Man Talk with women either in the 20s or women most likely in the 30s complaining that they can't get a guy to commit to a long-term relationship, or they've been ghosted, i.e. no second date, and some of them are really upset and crying over the fact that Chad won't commit to them. Well, I've been a look around to see if the dating industry is suffering from or being affected by the MGTOW effect. I didn't find really much, but what I found was something interesting, namely this. As you can see, it's a site called The Every Girl, and this was done on February the 9th, 2023 by a lady called Hayley Boschee. Now, this site is predominantly for women, by women, and it takes a woman's perspective on all sorts of things, as you can see on the top. Now, this article, A Dating Renaissance is Upon Us, Here's What to Expect. Now, reading through the article, it gives the impression it's like a encouragement article for women who are having trouble finding a partner, and we're coming up to a new year with a new load of people entering the dating aspect industry, apps, and they're going to have some encouragement. There's several articles, but this is about the main one. Newly single people and recent divorcees, i.e. the women on TikTok, are entering the dating scene. Bumble have ended 39% of people on Bumble have ended a marriage or a serious relationship in the past 2 years, and now they're getting back out there. This can mean a couple of things. They are officially over their relationship and actually ready to find another partner, but they're not being successful. Hence, some of them are complaining on TikTok. They are attempting to move on, or they are looking for a potential rebound. While most people hope only to meet someone who is completely ready to form a new relationship without any baggage or leftover emotions, it's important to realize that, as we all know, moving on can be hard. So here are a few words of advice. Don't be afraid to date someone who is newly single after a long-term relationship or marriage. Now remember, this is a site aimed at women, but tread more lightly until you know their intentions. And then if you go down, where is it? More people are willing to reconnect with an ex. Now it says it's spent their time working, they have trouble. This could mean that what was once an issue between two people might not be anymore. For example, if a couple broke up because one of them was constantly travelling to work or didn't have time for their partner, but they have now switched jobs for more work-life balance. No mention if the other one was unfaithful. No mention that at all. Now, women on these TikTok videos, some of them are clearly hurting and crying, and it would be nice if their former partner gave them a second chance. But some of them are crying because Chad won't commit, which is a different thing altogether. And then it just goes about singles expanding their horizons and just the takeaway. Now this is about the Renaissance dating, but we all know that professional women are also having serious problems trying to get on the dating game and get a long-term relationship and a partner. Now this isn't new. I was looking around, I found this. This is the Sydney Morning Herald, which is one of the mainstream Australian newspapers. Now, check out the date. This was April 22nd, 2012, or about 10 years ago. It's going on about the professional Australian women Remember, this is 10 years ago. The 30s are worrying years for high-achieving women who long for marriage and children. Of course, not all do, but as they face their rapidly closing reproductive window surrounded by men who see no rush to settle down. The higher education gap keeps widening this year, with a proportion of degree-educated women in Australia, aged 25 to 34, rose from 37% to 40.3%, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, while for guys the figures remain below 30%. Similar numbers of single men and women in their 30s overall. High expectations of professional women are a big part of the story. Many high-achieving women simply are not interested in Mr. Average, says Justine Parfitt, the owner of Australia's fastest-growing speed dating organisation. This was before the Tinder and things like that. They swallowed the allurial line because you're worth it. There's a real sense of entitlement. Many of his female members are determined to meet only men who are tall, attractive, wealthy and well educated, i.e. the 3 6s. They want the alpha males. Most of the professional women rarely give out yes to men who aren't similarly successful, who struggles to attract enough of these successful men to their speed dating events. 60% of his members are female, most are over 30. And then it goes the same old thing. During their 20s, women compete for the most highly desirable men, the Mr. Bigs. Many rapidly share a bed with the sporty, attractive, confident men, i.e. Chad, while ordinary men miss out, i.e. Beta Billy. As Whiskey points out, Joe Alpha Beta male is about as desirable to women as a cold bowl of porridge. And then the article goes on more and more things about that. Now that, as I said, was done in 2012. Zip forward 3 years and you get the Brookings Institute in America also noticing the shortage of marriageable men, i.e. the high earners, for the vast majority of women. Now this was done on Tuesday, 22nd of September 2015. And then it goes over the past several decades, marriage rates have fallen dramatically in the US. Many believe there's a shortage of marriageable men is the primary culprit. It turns out to be at the very most only half of the picture. If there is a shortage of married men, there's a shortage of married men only among African Americans and well-educated whites. Again, it's the same thing. Breaking down the marriage markets, my education reveals surprising fact: college-educated women are those facing the greatest shortage of men. This is a result of women's raising educating levels relative to men. Again, same as this article. All these educated professional women in Australia, they want the top guys. They don't want to date down. And the same is America. And then we've got independent women, not unmarriable men. And on the MGTOW front, I found this in Quora. As you can see, lots of articles about MGTOW. How many men would have to go MGTOW in order for it to severely impact the dating market? Now, this number 5, whoops, silly boy. Women mistakenly think that their value goes up in the dating market the older they get, i.e. 30s, or the more money they make, i.e. professional. Actually, a woman's dating value drops with age and experience. High-value men that they're after in the dating market do not want women with kids, women who are too old, women who have baggage, or women who are too successful. The this masculine energy is a turn-off for men in some way, that men who act in the way that society describes as feminine, in other words, a woman-like man, is a turn-off for many women. They want a guy who acts like a man. And in the next article, there, if you look at the current dating scene, how many women profess, constantly complain there's no decent guy out there, i.e. where have all the good men gone? You can fairly quickly see the effects of a movement like MGTOW on modern dating and partnering dynamics. Simply put, if a bunch of good people from either gender are completely checking out the possibility of having a long-term or permanent relationships, it's not a good thing. It probably should be taken more seriously, which is what the Brookings Institute is starting to do, even though it was 2015, and the Sydney Morning Herald are starting to do in 2012. Now, it's got to the point, as you can see, with the women complaining on TikTok, that articles like this, the Every Girl, wants to give encouragement to women and enter the dating scene, because they know that the dating scene is getting too bad for women. That's why so many women are complaining on TikTok that they can't get a decent guy, and the guys that they're with, the bad boys, just don't want to commit. So it seems that MGTOW is having an effect on the dating market, but it's just a question of seeing what is going to happen in the next few years as it just gets worse and worse, and the demographic problem comes with a falling birth rate. I think I'm on the 10-minute mark now, probably a bit beyond it, so I'll finish off now. I might do a Star Wars one either tomorrow or the day after, because we got the AGM, Disney AGM today, and I want to see what's happening with that. But for this one, I think that's it for now. You know the routine: like, dislike, comment, subscribe. Completely up to you. So until next Mondays for MGTOW, that's it. Bye-bye.